Hello viewers, my name is NUMAN. Today's topic is Consumer Protection Act. Today I am going to explain definition of Consumer Protect Act, definition of consumer and objectives of Consumer Protection Act. Let us know the definition of Consumer Protection Act 1986. This act was implemented in 1986. Consumer protection is the practice of safeguarding buyers of goods and services and the public against unfair practice in the marketplace. This act was replaced by Consumer Protection Act 2019. Consumer Protection Bill 2019 was introduced in the Lok Sabha on 8 July 2019 by the Minister of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. It was passed by Lok Sabha on 30 July 2019. This act enacted to provide for protection of interest of consumers and for the said purpose and to settle the consumer disputes effectively. In this act, consumer is being protected. So let us know about who is consumer. Under Section 2, Subsection 1 and Subsection D of Consumer Protection Act says, consumer is a person who buys any goods or hire any services for a consideration which has been paid or promised or partly paid and partly promised or under a system of deferred payment when such use is made with the approval of such person, but it does not include a person who obtains a goods for resale or a goods or services for commercial purpose. It means the person who purchased the goods and services for resale instead of consumption, that person is not a consumer. Objectives of Consumer Protection Act. Every act is enacted for some purpose or objectives. This act also enacted for some purpose or objectives. Let us know the objectives of Consumer Protection Act. The objective is to promote and to protect the rights of the consumers such as the first objective is to protect against the marketing of goods and services which are hazardous to life and property. It is responsibility of Consumer Protection Council to protect the consumers from goods and services which are dangerous to their life and property. They provide information about how to use hazardous products such as acid, gas, fire instruments, machineries, etc. And the next objective is to inform about the quality, quantity, purity, standard and price of goods or services so as to protect the consumer against unfair trade practices. The consumer has been given the right to inform by the producer about the quality, quantity, purity, standard and price of goods he buys. It is duties or responsibility of Central Consumer Protection Council to provide information about the product and services to the consumer to save them from the mal-activities practiced in the market by sellers. Next objective is to be assured wherever possible access to a variety of goods and services at competitive price. In this objective, it is clearly mentioned that this Act enables the organization of markets and market practices in such a way that all dealers or sellers are supplied with variety of goods and services. That goods and services must be beneficial to the consumer, and that variety of goods and services should sell at competitive price to the consumer. So what the goods and services provided to the consumer that should be beneficial to the consumer. Next objective is to be heard and to be assured that consumers' interest will receive due consideration at appropriate forums. The Central Consumer Protection Council has been charged with the responsibility of assuring consumers that they would be heard as of right by appropriate forums and consumers will receive due attention and consideration from such forums. It is main duty of Central Consumer Protection Council to accept and hear the consumers and provide judgment by hearing both the parties. The appropriate forum has to give attention to both the parties. Next objective is to seek redressal against unfair trade practices and unscrupulous exploitation of consumer. This act gives the right to the consumer to receive compensation against unfair trade practices like adulteration, high price, low quality, damaged product, etc. This objective helps the consumer to overcome from the loss on the purchase of goods and services. And the last objective is to educate consumer about the market. This is one of the important objective and mission of the Consumer Protection Act 1986 to educate the people about the market condition, price of product, knowledge of the product, etc. to protect consumer from mal activities practiced in the market. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this video was useful to you.